So stay with me while I show you how I went from nothing in the loft, just some wood, piles of wood, to this in been about 4 weeks. We'll move it into one of the top corners and we'll start the video. So buckle up and please enjoy this journey as I build a train set as much as I'm enjoying it. Right, I'm not sure when you'll actually see this because this is the start of me building the model train set. I have 2 rooms in my attic that have been converted at some point in the past when I bought it, and I thought straight away it'd be ideal. At the moment you can see it's just got a lot of stuff storing in here. Workbench is going to be put up somewhere in this corner for use. We already have power coming in there and over there. The lighting's not great. I have these that aren't connected yet, so we will be improving the lighting down this wall at some point. I'm probably going to paint it all in a light blue before we start full construction. But the actual train set I inherited from my dad is being dropped off today by my brother. So I'm starting to think what wood to order for building. And I'm starting to draw up a bit of a plan of boards. This is sort of a diagram of the room. So what we're going to have is this doorway here. I've taken the door off, that's there. So the main layout will be in this room that I'm studying. So it'll basically be a board along here, along the back wall. In the other room we'll put the fiddle yard and it'll just have a run through. Eventually we'll be putting a loop in here and there'll be a turnaround point in here. As you can see on floor, I've been measuring through a 3-foot board. So we'll have a 4x3 board, a 4x2 board, and because I get the plywood comes in 8x4, when we cut this board, we have 4x5 left. So we're going to do 2 4x2.5 foots. So that'll be here. And then it'll just be 2 4x2s along this back wall. We'll be cutting a hole in the wall here so that we can carry on through into the other room. Which will come out here. Fiddle yard will be here. We're going to do 6x3. Because these trains haven't been run for a while, I'm going to build a 6x3 board, just put an oval on it so that I can just run the trains while I'm building everything else, just to make sure they're all working fine and we can get any maintenance done that I need to. So that's the plan. You can see I'm starting to measure things. I'm using masking tape all over to measure. I've decided the layout's going to be 36 inches high, which is this mark. And that's so that I can reach over everything. It's going to be built on a framework with the boards attached later. The idea being that if I need to do electrics, I can flip them over to do it, lift out a board to do things. I already suffer with my back, so I'm forward planning. There's going to be no climbing underneath this layout at all once it's built. It's going to be designed that I don't have to. Maximum width is this 3 foot, but that's because of the turning circle. And I'll be able to reach everything. Everything has to be reachable without bending too much because of my back. So as I progress and do more things, we will have a better look. But I thought this was fun just to show the start of the journey, what I'm doing. If you're wondering, that's 18-inch, so I can measure out the 3-foot turning circle and work out that I have got enough space to walk in and out. So I think next time we have a look at anything, I'll be starting to hang wood on the walls, and hopefully it'll be painted in here and these lights here will be working. Right, it's November 28th now. Train set has been delivered. It's all piled in a corner at the moment because I've got decorating going on in this one of the rooms up here already. So once I've got a board up, we can have a look at this properly. I have fitted the lights now. Need to tidy the wires up still, but I want to paint first. But that's all working. Switch all in place. Gonna be easy to reach. So that's all that's happened in this room. But in this room, I've now got all the walls painted and woodwork's just been touched up with white gloss. I'm not planning to do scenics on here. Eventually it'll be the fiddle yard in here. The board that will be the fiddle yard, I'm just going to put an oval because a lot of these engines that I've inherited haven't been run for 3, maybe 4 years. So I just want to get an oval so we can have things running again. So wood should be getting delivered tomorrow for baseboards. So we will have a look at things as I start building the 6x3 board in this room. Right, so I've had my wood delivered. They've actually brought me more than I paid for and ordered, so I'm not going to complain there. The plyboard sheets are downstairs still. Going to cut them down before I bring them up 2 flights of stairs because I have no intention of struggling with 8x4 sheets of plywood to get it upstairs, 2 flights of steps. But what we have here is our 44x44mm, which is going to be used for the legs. 18x69mm, which is going to be used for the frames to support the boards. And our 20.5x94mm. These are going to go on the wall for the frame to attach to, so these will be glued and screwed on. These will be built, then screwed into here, and then we'll also have legs in place, and then the boards will just sit on top. So I think next we'll have a look probably when I have these cut and how I'm fixing them to the wall. I'm not going to video myself cutting wood because I'm not a woodworker. It's going to be a botch job. Find other people if you need to learn how to cut wood. I'm not going to teach you. This is a monumental moment in the build. This is the first piece of wood in place. So this is for the 6x3 board. There will be another 3 of these, and these will act as the support this to go on. This is attached with 50mm screws, and I've also used no more nails on the back of it to give it a really good secure fit. So as you can see, I've constructed a frame, 6x3. My boards are cut to 3x3, marked foot wall side and where they join together. I cut them to 3x3 because it'll be easier for me to handle later. You notice here I have made holes for wires to run through later. I thought on about that so we can keep wiring neat underneath everything when it gets to that point. There's a thicker piece in the middle so both boards can screw into it. So next I need to get my legs done. I have feet going in all of them because I'm under no illusion how wonky this floor is. So I'm going to get 4 legs ready for this one, and then we'll look at how I'm going to fit it onto the wall. I've got a laser level, so the important point is make it level on here at the back, and then I can use the feet on the legs to level, to make the rest of it match up to it with the floor, so the evenness. So I'll get my legs ready and we'll have a look at things. I might try film connecting to the back wall. Right, as you can see, I've got the frame attached to the wall. So quite pleased with this, really sturdy. I don't think I'm going to need leg in the middle. I've gone with legs on the 4 corners just to be sure. I think that was more sensible. I need to get some longer screws for here. I've slightly misjudged these pieces of wood. I forgot to take into account the legs were going to be there. But I'll get that screwed at a later date. It's all ready for wires will run through nice and neat. Join between the 2 boards, so I'm just going to get the top of this on now, and that'll be first board complete. So it's Sunday 30th of November, quite early in the morning still, just gone 10 in the morning, and I've just finished getting the first baseboard together. So this is the 6x3. I cut this into 2 3x3s, and you can see I made marks so I could tell where it went together, where the cut was, because hopefully that'll make it join better. All my screws are countersunk in the top. My screwdriver is too long. I need to get a short stubby screwdriver to do the back, but that's not an issue. To say I don't do woodwork, I'm not a joiner. I'm quite pleased with myself, and this is all the equipment I've needed. Not a lot at all. Just use a jigsaw for all my wood cutting. Haven't bothered with circular saws, buying anything. Had a jigsaw, I've made do. 1 drill, lots of drill attachments. Obviously a pencil and sharpener, Sharpie, metre rule, 30cm rule, and my tape measure, a square, wood glue, and a couple of different screws, and that's all I've needed. I really panicked when I started watching some YouTube videos before. They've seen people with, oh, you need a circular saw and you need a mitre, and no, you don't. I'm not a joiner, I'm not a woodworker, and I've built this, and I'm really happy with it. And this is the first of 4 like this, and then 1 that has be built slightly differently. So first of 5 baseboards, and this was the practice one. We might go into more detail of what I've done on the next ones, because I was learning as I built this. I'll give you a bit of a look at what I inherited, so you can see why I'm making such a big train set. And then I might get the oval in place, and we'll just see an engine running round, hopefully. But yeah, really happy so far. Right, so this is some of what I've inherited. Some of this was mine from a kid when I was a kid. So these coaches were mine. These were my dad's On My train set. He got these when I was about 10. So there's 3 of them, which went with this engine. These 2 are mine. These are both from, would it be my second Christmas? So I'd be 1.5. I got these 2. So They're like 53 years old, each of these. These are all part of his set now, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 not in boxes. Sorry, 7 not in boxes, 1's in the box. Then we have all of these. Sorry it's dark, I haven't sorted the lights out in here yet. But look at all these. Then there's boxes of underneath of track and rolling stock and track and all the electrics. We actually looked at selling this and we were offered 250 quid. So I've inherited it instead, and I will make great use of this and have a lot of fun. So you can see why I need to get an oval light. I've got a feeling these don't run it anymore at all. But all the others, I just want to get them on a bit of track. Let the engines have a bit of run. What needs to do, treat them as if they're brand new. Half an hour forward, half an hour backwards. Just for that. In the meantime, while I'm doing that, I can start getting this room tidied and pit decorated. Like, I had to throw everything from this room into here while we sorted that one out, and now it's time to get this one tidied and painted in the same colours. 2 hours of cleaning track with IPA and cotton buds, and I've finally got a train that'll make it all the way around an oval. I've had to go to almost 50% power, so it's going far too fast in some places, but this is the start of things to come. I'll just let this keep going round and round, and it's cleaning the track bit by bit now every time it does a circuit. Hey, train set's up and running. So, as you can see, we've made some changes. All apart from this engine, which was my first one I got on my Christmas when I was 1, I think, and working. I don't know what we need to do with that. But we've now got 7 of the engines out of the 20 odd will run round. This one needs a good clean. You will notice this has now got cork on top. I've put cork on the entire board, obviously split in half because there's going to be work, but it's on the entire board because this will be a fiddle yard eventually. So there was no point cutting cork for just below this track, which is what you'd normally do, obviously, when there's going to be so much track on this eventually. So forward planning. This is tacked down now. Track, it's different track than what we had last time, so I keep swapping the track to get it cleaned, and we're slowly working where before we could only just get an engine round. I'm down to 70% power now, and we will carry on going round, and the aim is to get it right down to about 40. We want it going round on a crawl. In this room, we're painting today. What date is it? We're on the 6th of December at the moment, so the plan is this weekend to finish painting in this room and change that light fitting. We have put a new light fitting up in here, but I need to get it all neatened up wires, and as we said that, we've just had it stop. This part's been an issue for a while. Oops, that tack's not down properly. But I think this gives you a really good idea of where we're going. It's a good start to the train set build. Lots of decorating obviously going on. There, it's gone over now. Lots of track to clean. That box is full of track as well. some more track there. I've separated out all the old track that was, I think it's actually from my first train set. He had some that was unusable, but slowly getting there. Well, we're on we're on January the 9th, 2026. When I'm recording this, I still haven't edited and put out the first video, but I will do before this one's finished recording, honestly. So, previously we did this one board, showed how I made it, etc. Since then, I've made some progress. So we've got a 4x3 in, and as you can see, I've curved the side. There was the masking tape down there, which I'd used to measure, so this, not an issue walking in and out, which is what I wanted. So that goes on to a 4x2, or as you can notice, I've got workspace, so there's tools and stuff all over. I've had a few bits and pieces delivered for other rooms, furniture, so I've been saving polystyrene because that will come in very useful. So then we got the two 4x2.5 foot boards in, 3 frames built all together. This shows how unstraight the walls are. I will deal with this gap later. And then obviously we have the boards at the back, the 4x2s, 2 of. So 6 boards in here so far. We have a 4x4 that will be going on the floor here. Well, not on the floor, but in this area. Probably needs cutting down slightly. I need to get these bookcases out so I can check properly. But as you can probably tell, I've got some track laid out and drawn around for templates for cutting out. This is the start of joining up what will be the fiddle yard to here. So this will be on that side and this one will be on here. We're going to be going through that wall, as we said, and we're going to be going through here. I've just put a little screw in here so I can see where these join up, the halfway point, because the idea is we'll have 2 lines run straight through the middle of this board, and then we'll have the staging at each side, which will give the maximum length. Instead of going just from one side and building out, because you end up sort of down here with one of them. So this will reduce how much actual board we lose. But we'll come to that in the future. As you can see, I've started going through some of my dad's stuff, tidying it up. Strangely, all of his point motors are missing, which is annoying because we sent, at one point, me and my stepbrother and my sister were looking at maybe selling this, and we got offered like 250 quid for the whole lot, and it was all taken away, and he priced it all up. And worryingly, I've got no point motors anymore, and there should be about 30 point motors from what my dad had. But it is what it is, can't prove anything. It's happened now. So I'm going to get these cut and then worry about how I'm going to join them on. Oh, and by the way, this is 30 inches from the floor. A lot lower, but that's the lowest point I'll be working. We will be building up from it. And this is 36 inches. So this connecting has to go from there, and I'm not sure if other parts of this will be up or down, but we'll play with that when we get to it. So I'm going to get some wood cut and get joined up, and then we'll have a look at how things are progressing. So it's quite a good time for a bit of an update. As you can see, I've got these curves in place. So they're both in place on both sides. I've corked over underneath them as well. Trains are running. Let's just turn one on. So absolutely no problem with the trains running. I can only go so fast, so we'll stop it there for obvious reasons. So same here. I can't remember, did we show that we cut the hole in the wall and we're going through there? So if we shoot through to the other side, I've been sorting out my dad's track. I've just had delivered 25 yards of flexible straight Pico 100, so that should be good. But you can see here I've been testing how we're going to come onto the layout from the other side. So these two will be an upper level that'll stay at this height, which is approximately, with the board, 6.5 inches. This one will go down, because there's no point having a fiddle yard if you can't bring it onto the rest of the layout. So this will drop to about 3 inches above in this length, and the same on the other side. So then we can start playing about here and bringing the other engines, other rates of rolling stock all into play, and somewhere in this area. This is half of the board that's going to go here. I've been measuring it, and it's going to be 5.5 foot coming out and 3.5 foot wide. That gives me 2 foot to get in at this side, which is great to be able to work both ends, and 18 inches at this side, which is mainly just in case of derailments to get down, and a little bit of working at this side of a board. It will give me 18 inches here to walk through. There's only that little point that is actually 18 inches. All the rest of it is a lot further than that. So it's the maximum amount of board I can get in this room comfortably to work. I've put some air curves down. This will be the heritage line eventually, but I wanted to make sure that I had the curve right for testing this, because this is going to be the upper level 2 lines, and then we're going to have the back. At the back is the one that'll drop down at this side. So this is 6 inches. This was the cut off from this board. So that's going to cut down now to a 4 inch and a 2 inch, which will be perfect. Same again, ramping down, legs out the way. This isn't as low as it'll be, this will be higher, but there's going to be a big hill all around here. Think like the peaks in the Dale in Yorkshire. It's where I was brought up, so I'm used to seeing hills. So this will be a big hill. A lot of that will be hidden at this point. I don't want the line that comes down to be visible on this side. I don't mind on that side. So I'm going to get the top layer literally all boarded up all the way around and some track on it, and hopefully I can run an entire loop sometime this weekend. It's what are we on? Friday the 16th at the moment. I've got a couple of days off, so hopefully I can get all this sorted out, and we'll catch up with where I'm up to soon. So, made a lot of progress yesterday. So we're on 17th of January now. So yesterday I got all of this upper levels framing all the way around. So as you can see, we've got a train going literally on a loop now. I'll post a cab view that I did and put on Facebook last night, which I thought was quite cool being able to do. I have started to get the second loop down, but I haven't gone any further. I've started to put the ramp for bringing from the fiddle yard in place. This is tested and it does run to the end. It took me about an hour to fettle about with this point work to get it working, but it does now. I also this morning, or today, I just put this couple of points in here just so we'll be able to swap lines for whatever reason because of the up and the down. And that took a bloody age as well to re-alter all these bits. So it all fitted, but it all does. Oops, that's not on properly. I'll go back to that now. I've just seen it. So I'm now getting ready to put the last board in, which is going to go here. What is it? 5.5 foot coming out and 3.5 foot wide. Top boards are cut into two, as I've done previously, so they're manageable for when it comes time for doing the electrics. And I've started to measure out these beams to make the frame. So I think next time we look, we should have the final board in place so we can see what size the entire layout is actually going to be. A few alterations in this area. I've had to just put one little piece of track in because I've got a mega loop now, so I need to take one of the engines off, and we're trying to get in the habit of not picking them up, moving them. So that's there to be able to put this to there. You'll have noticed from my loop video there was just one set of points up here, which was actually, here was this section. I've put another section in here so that from both directions now we can do our swap overs to the other lines without forward, reversing, etc. So that took about, anyone who's ever built a model railway will know when you alter something, you don't just alter that little piece. All of this had to come up and replace all the straights with different length straights to make it fit. But this is all working now. We've got both engines coming round. I need to repin some of the track due to having to alter the geometry slightly to make things fit again. But they were all working nicely. No issues, both directions. So let's go have a look in the other room. So in this room, we've now got the second ramp all in place. And I bought myself a foam cutter, so I've cut that section to fit under nicely. It needs to drop down in height slightly. I need it down to 3 inch, and at the moment it's about 3.5 inch. But I've got a foot, I can deal with that, no problem. This connects all the way now. Obviously we need to alter the height slightly. But this connects all the way to the other ramp. The way. So this is just temporary at the moment for height, but we're dropping by about 1/2 inch. This section here, for this curve, I'm going to replace with polystyrene in the same way as the other side, so this will need to lift out while we do that. Lots of changes keep going on, little tweaks now, but I need this section correct before I can move on to here. In here is where the stations go, big stations going to be on here, and a town. Then we need the track for what's going to be our heritage line, comes off in that direction and that direction, and we'll come to that when we get there. But I think that's a nice little update, and I think we'll get that polystyrene in place, have a quick look at things going round, and probably call it quits on this, and then we can really concentrate on nitty gritty things in future videos. Right, so we've made some good progress today. As you can see, I've replaced this thing with the polystyrene wall in the corner over there, which I think is much better. I have had it running where it'll run down the ramp and across and right across here and back up the other side. I've not got it set like that at the moment because it'll only run for so long before derailing points need to be changed, and I don't want to sort of not be paying attention while it does that. But we've got this side, so eventually we'll be able to have trains come in, be able to uncouple the engines and swing round and reverse ends, etc. This is the start of where we're going to have the station, and obviously there'll be a town built around this. So I think that's my next thing. There's not a lot more I can do on the outside for now, because next stage on all that is putting point motors in and sorting out the electrics a lot better than what we have them currently. So next step is going to be to start really planning out the station and getting the heritage line all built up. But I think we'll do that in another, because this is now a really long video, because I've ended up putting two videos into one because I didn't edit. But for now, thank you very much for joining me on this journey as I get into model railroading. I know I've only called the channel The Train Set. Please, any ideas for a name, find them in the comments. I may use your idea, I may not. I really haven't got a clue what I'm going to call this yet, but I can't just keep calling it The Train Set forever. But for now, thank you for joining me on this, and next time we'll be looking at probably planning out the heritage line and right through the station.